The Authentic Empress. Y'all, I just want to, you know, say what some of us are thinking, what some of us are feeling, what many of us are realizing or noticing, like about our nation, okay? Um, ain't that funny? Like, it's so funny, It's not though at the same time, but it's this energy of like, they did everything in their power to ruin our health, to ruin our minds, okay? To get us to destroy one another, get us to destroy ourselves. And all it did was build up our immunity, literally. Like the chemtrails, the COVID 19 vaccines. And we know, especially those of you who have um, any experience like in the field of psychology, for example, like, or you're just paying attention, okay, to patterns, we know that they've been doing these experiments like for decades when it comes to acting as if they're trying to create a cure for us. They're trying to create things to make our lives better, but in actuality, they've not only been experimenting on us, but they've been intentionally trying to kill us, okay, with this depopulation agenda bullshit. So all I could do was laugh. Like, all I could do is chuckle when I think about it, because it's like, damn, just like how God made our bodies, like whenever a person is exposed to any type of illness or sickness, the way that God designed us is for us to build an immunity to like foreign bacterias and stuff like that. And your body is literally designed that way, like to fight against things that are intended to throw it off balance, to create disease. So it's the same shit with everything. It's the same shit. Like, this is even like violence, okay, amongst one another. So I'm not disregarding, okay, the people who obviously lose their lives, lose their minds to these things, right? Because yes, that unfortunately, that's inevitable, right? But it has a lot to do with people's awareness, and how people channel their anger, how people channel their frustrations and their irritation, their um, agitation, right? Because even with the social media stuff, that's also fueling our immunity, right? Think about how, okay, we got these documentaries and this research about how they wanted to try and control us using social media or make us weaker when it comes to governing ourselves, okay? And we know that social media addiction is a thing. We are well aware of the influencer culture and how technology is, quote, raising children, okay? Creating a lot of disturbances and disruptions, right? But again, it kind of makes me think of like with the story of heaven and how there were several angels that followed Satan, right? For an example, but even in them following Satan, and quote unquote creating an uproar or war against the divine, right? It's like the fact that God sent Archangel Michael, like, it's given like one divine being has the capacity to overthrow millions of demons or thousands of demons, hundreds of demons. God damn, I ain't even mean to say a number that large. But maybe that's the reality. Maybe that's the reality. Because when you think about it, none of them are above God. None of them are more powerful than God. But there's been a lot of execution. There's been a lot of entitlement. There's been a lot of mind games. There's been a lot of illusions being casted and broadcasted to insinuate that they do have more pull than they actually do. They have more control than they actually do. And it's the irony, it's the disrespect for me. The fact that on our money it says, "In God we trust," and you have people who are in place that don't really believe that, okay? It's that same energy. They want to be God. They want to be worshipped. They want to feel like they're in the league or they're above God, right? But it's like, Y'all got all these insiders, all y'all got y'all network of people to ensure that y'all are able to just run rampant, with your evils, and it's like, damn, hmm, that prayer, okay, the Lord's prayer is really like standing out a lot more than ever now. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not, or some people say, those who trespass us, right? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Forever and ever and ever and thy is God is yo. That is crazy to me. Like damn. That is so crazy to me. Even with like all the information, all the exposure, all the revelation, all the research, okay, that we as a people are just carrying around, okay, through social media, right? You know how once upon a time back in slavery, they wanted to limit our, people's ability to communicate with one another because they felt like that would disarm them or disempower them, or that would be or serve as a potential threat. So they wanted us to be illiterate, okay? Like even with the schools, y'all, like intentionally giving inaccurate information in the schools. You get what I'm saying? So that we're not really armed to fend for ourselves and one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did all that just for God to have his own insiders, you know, in every avenue of life to basically overturn all the work that they've invested in to keep us stagnated, to keep us down. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, it's crazy, divine timing, right? It's making me consider the scriptures in a whole nother way, y'all. Like, this is crazy to me. It's crazy good. But yo, the collective shift that we've been picking up on, y'all, like, if you just reflect on our world and just think about how it seems like people who are evil, who are possessed, who's been able to just roam freely, creating havoc in people's lives, raping, pillage, and genocide, and all these things. And it's like the pride of it all. It's the pride of it all, especially when it comes to innocent people. Now, let's consider this too. Let's consider the leaders or the people who were willing to go against the grain, who were, put in leadership positions that they assassinated. So now you got these powerful ass people who were powerful in the flesh. They over there in the spirit realm. So you think that just because they no longer have their bodies, they're no longer working to assist us or to aid their people? You don't think that's and now in this video you're gonna have to have an open mind, okay? Because that's so crazy to me. If you think about how God said there are many angels assigned to us, or it was told to us there are many angels assigned to, we know that um the spirit realm is real. We know spirits are real. We know possession is real. We know guardian angels and divine, happenings are real. We have more than enough proof and evidence, and it's like, damn. So um y'all kill people like Malcolm X, Dr. Sabi, and there's a plethora of people who were bold enough to go against the grain, who were bold enough like to really fight for our rights and stuff like that, who were assassinated. But it's like, damn, you thought that their purpose was, they were just gonna stop doing that even while they're in the spirit realm? No, absolutely not. That is so crazy to me. Just imagine how much more they're able to do now that they're free from a body and they're free from people who can be manipulated against them to create restrictions and limitations. Think about what they're capable of now that they're in spirit form. And then you have those of us who are still, you get what I'm saying, with our minds and our awareness and our connection directly to source, our connection to our lineage, our connection to our ancestors and the angels. Think about how powerful we are, okay, and how we even allow access, for our spiritual guardians to assist us, to will justice in the land. It's crazy. It's like, even when you think about the flood, the flood, like with Noah and stuff like that, it's like, what if God's version of a flood could also be like just a spiritual cleansing on the land? Like, what if it could be that? If you think about how water is like emotional energy, like, you know what I'm saying, like creativity, intuition, like, at any time God could literally just remove the veils off people's eyes. And the more that people come into contact with those of us who are lifting the veils, those of us who are confirming inklings that people have and providing confirmation and allowing ourselves to be instruments of the divine, like, think about like what we're really like setting off. Like, yo, damn. So trying to overwhelm you with relational conflict, you've built an immunity to that. People are building an immunity to that. Okay, that immunity could look like, okay, having better boundaries. That immunity could look like, okay, I'm no longer falling for that trick again. Fool me one time, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? The immunity is increasing in all areas of people's lives. Is this everybody? No. But people who've like certainly held on to their faith, oh, listen, this is crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know like what all to say. I'm really just sharing my thoughts on this because it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. Even when you think about people who are like very gifted and they go through periods of isolation and stuff like that, imagine how powerful that person is. Why is it necessary to work so aggressively to isolate that person? Like, how major is that impact? Like, ask yourself, how major is your impact, y'all? Like, what the fuck? And you have the proof. Like, when you do go out, when you do connect, when you are a part of people, places, and things, you can see the evidence of your influence, of your impact, by you simply being a believer of the Most High, you holding on to your faith, you living your life according to a moral compass. You know what I'm saying? That's like of righteousness and integrity. And it's like, bro, that's why there's always these illusions of people abusing their power and their position to make us feel like, oh, we need to stop being that way. We need to disable ourselves from being that way. Why? Why? Because the reality is that we're more powerful. That's why you want to convince us that we're not powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the energy. But this is crazy. Like, I'm thinking about how I did a live maybe about I did a video about 2 3 years ago, and I had shared it um, on my community board a few weeks back. Then I deleted it, right? Because in the video, even though like, because most of my readings, I'm picking up on things that's going on around us, like in our government, in our land, spiritual warfare that's on a broad scale. Not so much just interpersonal relationships, but something that's like the people who's trying to program things, people who's trying to condition, people who have like, basically spiritual wickedness in higher places. Like, most of my readings are about that. You know what I'm saying? So in one of the videos, I literally said like, and even it even sounded crazy to me. Like, I even doubted it myself. But that's the thing about being a vessel and just letting God speak through you. I said, you don't have to pay those student loans. And the fact that there's this whole like wipeout thing going on, like, listen, I doubted myself when I listened back to the video and I deleted it. I was like, damn, I don't want to misleading people, but for the shit to just play out, yo, I'm just like, yeah, I need to go back and listen to my old videos, bruh. Like when I was just picking up on what's going on in the land. You get what I'm saying? Like what's going on in the land, okay? That shit is crazy, dog. This is why it says your immunity is up. And I also had the Bill Gates card come out in one of my recent readings. And I channeled it in that specific reading as like a symbolic message, but if my sources are correct, like, am I thinking about Bill Gates correctly? I don't. If it's who I think it is it who I think it is? Seven of Pentacles. That shit is crazy, dog. Like these portals are a lot. Like yo, like I'm just in awe. Like I'm really in awe, like of how things are unfolding, how things are unraveling. Now, mind you, like I said, of course there are people who are going to fall victims to the illusions, but that's all that they are. They're illusions. They're illusions, and oftentimes the people who fall for it are the ones that's trying to say those who are awakened, those who have this divine awareness and stuff like that. They're trying to say we're crazy. They're trying to say we're crazy, we're delusional. They're trying to prove us as insane or mentally ill, but the whole time, we ahead of time. The whole time, we ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Damn, quantum leaping. They did all that, y'all. And they gotta pay for all that. That's the thing. They have to pay. They're paying for everything that they've done when they allow Satan to use them. All those rituals, all those demonic sacrifices. They're having to pay that shit. And it's given this illusion of thinking that they had some type of knowledge that we didn't. Those of us who are divine, hearted, they thought that they had some type of mystery knowledge that we didn't have. You get what I'm saying? They thought that they had an advantage over us, because of them willing to impose their will onto people, or willing to kill, steal, and destroy. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I had watched this video today, and it was like a psychological thriller, but the guy had said in the movie he was like, because he was being haunted by um, demonic imagery, visions and stuff like that, to basically get him to sell his soul or give up his body, give up himself to a demon, okay, who, that shit is crazy. But he said, I'm not afraid of images. I'm not afraid of no pictures, because that's what it was. But once upon a time, because of his trauma, because the demon was toying with a very, like, a very extreme tragedy that the guy had went through. He kept replaying those events in his head, okay, but and trying to guilt trip him about something that's done. Like it's nothing he could do. You know what I'm saying? Like in that moment, he had to make a decision to like save his wife. Like, he saved his wife. You get what I'm saying? Like he saved himself and his wife. And that part, the fact that I watched that today, though, you get what I'm saying? He said, "You can't scare me with your images. I'm not afraid of no pictures." And that's what illusions are. Like, so it's like all this shit is crumbling down, because if we think about our personal connections and we talk about the tower moment, bro, tarot is deep as fuck. What about the faulty foundation of our nation? What about that tower falling? You know, what about that tower crumbling? And don't get me wrong, it's not that we don't, some of us don't have those conversations, but the fact that we do, and we can recognize it, and we can command it to be so, and we can declare it, and we can resist it. Okay, we can rebuke it. Okay, we can come up against it. Okay, we know what to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how many of the masses that you have under, strong illusion or some type of stronghold. For those of us who are not though, and for those of us who have broken out though, shit, you know, when two or more come together, that doesn't mean they gotta be in the same room. That has everything to do with their faith system, the network that we're creating in the ethers. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no coming up against that. Ain't no coming up against that. This is why they always use hysteria. They always use fear. Like, we got all the tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with, their inspiration for entertainment, like scary movies, and like a lot of us know that a lot of movies are based on real events. You get what I'm saying? So even that right there, that's a code. That's a code. Us decoding this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like this matrix. So it's like, hmm. It's like they want us to doubt the realism of our spiritual sight, our spiritual senses. Even when you think about parents who are unaware and they have gifted children, you get what I'm saying? And let's say that child is like we always hear it. Oh, that child has an imaginary friend. You know what I'm saying? But then we always hear stories depicted of situations like that where the child was communicating with a demon, but it's not always just demons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm even hearing like how elders will say when a baby is asleep and they're smiling and laughing and stuff, they're being entertained by angels. The fact is, we're never truly disconnected from the spirit realm, but it will behoove people to arm themselves with the whole armor of God. Like really arm themselves accordingly and not allow people to be used to get them to doubt their abilities and doubt their gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's really what it is. It's constant cycles of people trying to get you to doubt things that you're able to see, feel, hear, sense that's not seen. Basically trying to what the hell? I heard demineralize, but basically like just trying to like obliterate your faith, like wear down your faith until there's no more. And that's why the scripture says, even if your faith is the size of a mustard seed, like think, bro, oh my God. I'm not even gonna hold you. When I close out this video, like I know I'm about to go into a praise and worship because I feel it in my body, bro. Like I feel it in my body. Like God is so amazing, bro. God is so amazing, bro. You understand what we're able to do when we eliminate fear? Because even when you think about people who fall victim to their lives being taken or them being, held captive and stuff, there's something significant about you being able to fall into that snare, fall into that grave, if you allow oh God, if you allow fear. You're supposed to allow spear. I'm thinking about like a spear, spirit. That is crazy. But if you allow fear to consume you at any time, you're more likely to fall victim to disease, infection, illness, or a disorder, disabilities, death, um, falling into traps. And I feel like that adrenaline rush that people get when they're like in obvious dangerous situations, that's something we're supposed to have at all times, like for everything. Like, because there are some dangerous situations that's not always obvious. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that same drive, that same strength that we're able to tap into when it's a very hostile present physical situation. We have to know how to recognize that when it's more subtle, okay, or when it's more broad, okay. Like, there could be some people who think, like yesterday I was talking about how we need to pray more over our nation, like pray more over the missing, the people who gets kidnapped and missing, like on a global. Oh my god, bro, I don't even know how to freaking articulate this shit, bro. But don't underestimate the power of prayer. Don't underestimate like the power of speaking the truth in a situation, like fighting, knowing that you're fighting with the truth, knowing that you're fighting for what's right. Like, and another thing too, not allowing yourself to be manipulated or controlled, or let somebody get you in your feelings because of them mistreating you or abusing you because of their insecurities, because they feel inferior of you. This is something that overall we're supposed to be applying, not just personal connections. Oh, yeah, your man, your girl, your family member, your co-worker, their friends, their ex. No, globally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck how much pull it seemed like somebody got, bro. It's like it's inevitable for that shit to crumble if it's built on faulty foundation. Why? Because that's spiritual law. That's spiritual law. There's gonna always be a deadline. Things have to always conclude itself. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of it all, who has the final say? God. I'm telling you, this is why it's necessary to really develop your confidence in God, like, and being able to like step away from anybody who's in opposition of God, who's in opposition of balance, who's in opposition of what's right, okay? Justice, anybody who's in opposition of that, even if they're being possessed, even if they're confused, okay? But generally, there's somebody, or even God Himself, or God even using us, using people, places, and things to arm people accordingly with understanding and knowledge in regard to, hey, this is not something you should be fighting against. You should be fighting alongside with this person. This is a cause you should be fighting for, not fighting against. I know what these people are saying. I understand the fear mongering. You get what I'm saying? But I didn't give you that spirit of fear. So hey, process of elimination. Process of elimination. You know? That's so crazy. And I'm not saying that, something's wrong with you if fear creeps in. Of course fear creeps in, because that's their main weapon. That's their main weapon to get any other, for their plans to be fully carried out. They have to use fear. They have to utilize fear. You know what I'm saying? Because fear is, how we talk about how drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, how those are the barrier, so to speak, or like um it weakens the barriers. I'm trying to think of what the phrase is. I can't think of it right now. um because I don't know if barrier is the proper word, but basically how you can be susceptible to other shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're under the influence. So if you're under the influence of fear, my darling, you get what I'm saying with this shit? Like, that is like, yo. Because think about people who allow themselves to be vessels of evil. Think about what they're capable of carrying out when they don't embrace fear. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if those of us who are vessels of divinity, if we fully embody that energy, that fearless energy as well, think about how much we could get done. You know what I'm saying? Think about how much and how often we could just shift, okay, balance the scales in our favor, you know? Yeah. Honestly, honestly, there's like a multifaceted way of coming up against things that are designed to come against us or to put out our light, whether that's us talking about it, whether that's us physically fighting for the shit, whether that's us, learning skills, being, being a scientist of divinity, being a biologist of divinity, being a doctor of divinity, being a therapist of divinity, being a construction worker of divinity, being a government official of divinity, being, you get what I'm saying? But that's the thing though. God always got his people in place. And it doesn't matter if, damn, out of 11 people, only one person is of God and everybody else is damn demons. That one person is more powerful than all the motherfuckers. Like, I don't care what it look like. However it look, if it look like it's leading to some type of defeat, that's an illusion. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. But what matters the most is that person not cowering or not allowing the fact that they seem outnumbered to discourage them or to disempower them. Like, no, God got you here for a reason. You get what I'm saying? You're here for a reason. Type, you know? Like, don't sleep on yourself, basically. Damn, bro. Don't sleep on yourself. Whatever it is that you do, however it is that you are, whatever it is that you want to do, okay, that's, it has some type of positive or harmonious energy about it, bro. Do that shit with no fear. You get what I'm saying? Do that shit. Okay, like, of course, be constructively strategic, be wise, pray for discernment, pray, develop your discernment. Okay, sometimes why meditation is so powerful, like, not only to just attune yourself, your chakras, your body, or reset yourself, okay, to your natural equilibrium or to the equilibrium of the Most High, but also, how do I want to say this? No, y'all would not do this to me. This shit is cool, bro. Take your time. A little goes a long way. Okay, when it's in divine favor or when it's with a positive purpose, or a little goes a long way. Yeah, if your heart is in the right place, if your intentions are in the right place, a little goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. Damn, that shit is crazy. Wow. Our immunity is growing. Like, it's inevitable. Like, and I feel like that immunity has a lot to do with love as well. All the things that they try to make us feel like we were powerless about or powerless of, like when it comes to defending our loved ones and this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, like people, those of us who are on that path of awareness, it's like, yeah, nah, like when we think about these organizations that they have in place for our children and stuff like that, and we think about trafficking, the children that are missing and stuff like that. People are not just being so. A lot of us are not. Like, hell no, my child about to be part of that. No, you can't take my child for a week or 2 weeks. Okay, to no campsite without me. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. No. Who is this? It's like taking the power or realizing that we always had the power, but they did so much to make us feel disempowered. And so it puts you in that survival energy of like, you gonna figure some shit out. And that's what's adding to people's immunity. Like, if they're trying to make people's lives hell, via finances, if they're trying to put people in a high stake anxiety because of AI and technology and this, that, and the third, they're only pushing people. Boy, when I say all things work together for the good of those who love God, man, listen, that shit is working for your good. Shit is working in your favor. God just sitting back watching it all like, the ultimate magician, the ultimate alchemist is the divine. And the fact that you come from God, you get what I'm saying? You're that too. That's something that's in you. Is there going to always be energies, or are there going to be energies in place to try and trick you about who you are? Yes, absolutely. But you can eliminate whatever that being, force, vessel is that's trying to trick you out of who you are. Okay? With your power, with your energy. Okay? Damn, so I'm obviously doing great work, and you're speaking negatively about the work that I'm doing because you want me to feel discouraged, or you want me to feel like I'm not smart or I'm not intelligent, or just because you chose to use your mouthpiece like that, I'm supposed to believe that it's the truth. But it's not, though. You're a hater. You're jealous. Let's compare my work to yours, my guy. Like, that's what it's giving. Like, not allowing, not basically choosing to not consume the deception. Like, damn, you're having to resort to deception. You're weak as fuck. Oh, I see. So I really have the upper hand here because you gotta lie, you gotta play, okay? You gotta be abusive, you gotta harass, okay? You gotta what's the shit that they do? Blackball and do all these manipulative tactics. Damn, I really have the upper hand, it seems. I'm something to be feared. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, obviously. I mean, God said so. Satan is the author of confusion. Mm. Shit, cool. How far? 36 minutes. You know what? I think this is definitely going to be a continual conversation. Um, I'm going to close it out here, though, because I don't want it to be too long. I just seen the Queen of Swords. Yep, the Queen of Swords. And you got the Seven of Cups here. Yeah, no. We not about to do this. The Emperor. Listen. Fine. Listen. You are as smart as you believe that you are. Okay? Whatever they thought they were gonna do, they thought that they were gonna make AI our God or something. They thought we was gonna fall for that bullshit and replace the Most High and our intuition and our insights and our instincts with AI. They try to trick us to giving them all of the tea, and it's like at the end of the day, we control this shit, bitch. Y'all want us to believe that we control this shit. Y'all dependent on us. Y'all depending on us, our insight, our experiences, our intellect. Okay, y'all being educated by us. Hold on now. That shit funny. There's been times I actually utilized Chat GPT, and I'd be talking shit to the motherfucker like, hey, I didn't ask you for your opinion or your bias. I said generate what I said generate. Oh my god, yo. This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah. Everybody ain't easily gullible and naive to this shit. Like, I don't give a damn what the tactics are to have people be bullied. Like, they want to bully people out of being intelligent. They want to bully people after being out of being like these super empaths and like with this whole narcissism shit. Like, even that, I feel like even that energy, like, these are all ploys. Anything that's evil, that's trying to destroy us, kill us, and whatever things about us, these are all ploys to get us out of being who we naturally are in the divine. Because who we naturally are is very much so fearful. It's very much so to be feared. You get what I'm saying? Because even I even use David and Goliath as an example. It's like all David had, he had a weapon. He had skill. And above all, he had God. So he didn't have fear. He had courage, okay? And he had experience, okay? He had proof and evidence of what he was capable of prior to this giant. Like, I've dealt with beasts, you know what I'm saying? And I can, like, who is, God got me through all of that. You get what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't I be able to defeat this giant? You get what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we gonna have to talk about this shit. Because you understand how strategic that is, and that's why it's so important to learn yourself, to study what you have. Bro, for example, you are a human body. Study your body. Study your body. Teach your kids about their body. And I'm not talking about just, oh, reproductive system. No, 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 no. Even when it comes to defense, teach them about pressure points and, all this type of shit. Because that's literally what David did. Okay? Like, boop, it's over. I don't have to, we don't have to do no long-winded fight. Like, I'm gonna hit you where I know it's gonna put you out. That's what it's giving. Like, immunity in a way is also like your cells increasing in their skill. They're becoming far more strategic. They're becoming far more intelligent. 111 on the clock. Damn. So what are they gonna use now? What are they going to use? For those of us who are really the ones to be feared, those of us who really can even, exercise, like exercising demons, we can exercise the ones who have succumbed to the illusions and the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The control and the programming and the conditioning. What can y'all use now? Okay, a lot of us not eating the same shit. Okay, the things that makes us vulnerable or susceptible to certain diseases and illness. So what are y'all gonna use? Motherfuckers, it's even the idea of injecting you with an illness is supposed to be to increase your immunity, right? Even though they thought, because they had all these free radicals and all this wild ass shit, cat piss, red shit, okay, oil, engine oil. They put all these other things in there. You get what I'm saying? Damn, they didn't expect us to grow an immunity to that shit too. Chemtrails? Y'all motherfuckers became immune to chemtrails? Y'all know there's some small towns where it's so overly saturated with pollution intentionally. Like, they're experimenting with these people. And these people are getting sick and stuff like that. But again, awareness. Awareness. Right? You know what? On that note, let me go read some more of my Malcolm X book. I'll see you guys.